with that information though, other than just hurl incredible amounts of abuse at him. The fuck? I don't know. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I hope I don't have to deal with that every time I lose from now on, because it'll happen a lot. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna go back to my 60% win rate, and everyone's gonna be like, What happened? Did you fall over or something? You leave Skippy out of this. Yeah, so he must have been like staying pretty far from the venue if he's just like seeing kangaroos in his backyard. That must have been it, yeah. Kangaroo's favorite food is Tim Tams. Tim Tams. Oh, no, I mean, nobody eats Vegemite. Vegemite's not actually food. I guess. Yeah, only the kangaroos. I will. It's been absolutely non-stop since I came back. I'm so under the pump. Yep. That's been a struggle. I've been there. That was funny. Just all the Italians. Okay. Why would that be? It shouldn't be. Why? Like, I haven't touched that. I haven't touched that dial at all. He wasn't saying anything important.
What?
Alright, now we're good.
Well, good thing maybe if my upcoming opponent was here for Naiad in the BTW tournament, then it's a good thing that they didn't hear what I just said there, so they might know how to attack me, but...
So, what were you saying?
About, welcome in Slyfrit.
Thank you, Ari and Slyfrit, for the kind words.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, the Shadow Sizer in Naiad is, like, completely, insane.
Yeah, I agree. It's so good.
And, Shadow Dragonair, dude? Oh, whew.
Oh, you're using Dragonair.
Really good. I'm using Shadow Dragonair. The thing's insane. The thing's so good.
Yeah, right. I didn't even consider that. How does it do against Hakamo?
I've actually I didn't face one yet. One person had one, but they didn't use it against me because I'm bringing like Oh, actually, no, I did face one. But I ended up getting the Mew on it, and it was not too bad. So
okay, thank you, Ryan.
I mean, that's why I bring Greedent, because it's just like it doesn't matter what it's going against. It just like puts in work.
Yeah, like
it can be the Deoxys. Like it doesn't matter.
Can it get a shield from Hakamo? I'm sure it could, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Only thing that made me think twice about my team comp was Buzzwall.
Yeah, yeah.
When I faced Conky, he had Buzzwall, and I was like trying to squeeze the Mantine in there because I'm like, I don't use this thing very often, but it's there for like these types of scenarios.
Buzzball's been like annoyingly tough to deal with because it's like it's hard countered by so many things, but it's also it just smashes everything. It's
just RPS. It's RPS.
The Bastion of Naiad.
You get it on an Altaria, you're laughing if you're the Altaria. They get it on your even if it's on your Mew, it's annoying, right? Because the lunges do so much. Am I excited about Wave 2? I mean, it seems interesting. I looked briefly at some of the metas earlier today. We can check those out just real quickly at this. Fish can say his normal thing about this is the beginning. If you want to know what the hell's going on, just skip ahead.
Yeah, that. Skip ahead to like the 10 to 15 minute mark if you're watching the VOD.
Where is it? Here? No, wait, where do I go? It's easier on mobile. Oh, arena info. Here. Okay. So this cup, these are the allowed Pokemon.
Oh, we'll be doing a breakdown of these, by the way.
Seems interesting. I know, I'm just looking at it just initially.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like major that stands out to me necessarily. I'm looking at it, but yeah, it's interesting. There's not a lot of flying here, so.
Oh, yeah.
And the flying that there is like kind of shit. Like.
Or steel.
Like Ledian is probably one of the better flyers. Like, are you gonna use Scyther as a flying type? I don't know. Are you gonna use Masquerain? Like, not sure.
Scyther was good for one thing once, ever.
Talonflame, I guess, is here. They can't put in Charizard because then it's on every single team. Sawana, these things all have Air Slash. Like Scyther, I think also has Fury Cutter, but like Air Slash Masquerain, Air Slash one, Abolga's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's any ground types in this meta. There is a Camerupt, which is a ground type. Here's a Hippowdon here, which is also a ground type. Yeah, it seems interesting. I'll have to get. Yeah, there is steel. Here's a Sandslash. Yeah, it does seem interesting. We'll have to see. I like using Shadow Golduck, so I'm just kind of bummed that I can't use my Shadow Golduck. But
is regular Golduck in there?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
But shadows are banned, right? So.
Okay.
So this meta is also interesting. It's not loading very well. But one thing that I saw that looked really interesting in this second slot. Where is it? Or is it in the third slot? It was in the third slot here. This Pokemon seems interesting, Beedrill. Because, if you look, like, what do you have here? Electric. You have a lot of, like, poisons. Bugs, some dark types. Like, you don't have really many flyers at all. I don't know if there's any flyers if I'm looking through here.
Yeah.
So, like, Beedrill seems like a really nice Pokemon. That's the first thing that, like, jumped off the page is, like, that Drill Run coverage move from Beedrill.
Yeah, that's
would be really nice. Also, Sea King also has similar type coverage. Poison, fast move, with Drill Run.
I've always found Sea King a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, especially because there is going to be electrics. But I mean, what do you have? What's the benefit? Is the water? So like you would do better you would do better against things like Lapras and like Celio, maybe, than Beedrill, right? Or Blastoise, stuff like that. Like, where they have Water Gun, Hydro Cannon, like Seeking would handle that much better. So
You can certainly run both.
There's definitely pros and cons.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, but I like that. I like that ground coverage because it seems very neutral and like, yeah. That's my initial impression. And then the one slot here was also Umbreon.
Oh, is Umbreon in there?
Slot 2 has Umbreon.
Weirdly meta.
Which is like one of those. Okay, the thing is though, it doesn't look great because like there's a lot of bug types, like a lot of bug types, and a lot of poison, and like with. But Umbreon's always like a really interesting pick, right?
Yeah.
Because with these Silph metas, whenever you can get that type of like bulk into your lineup, it can really just help like stabilize things. Even if it's a losing matchup, you most likely will probably be able to take a shield out of your opponent, right? Because it can just tank so much damage. So.
All right. Do you want to?
As you learned over the weekend, Umbreon's annoying to deal with.
For me, I think what led to my losses is that I think people learned how to play the Medicham against me, to be honest. Because
okay, my thing that I will say quickly is that when I discussed with you potentially what your opponent would do, the first game against him in the winners finals, he ran the most unique line against you out of the whole series. And I think that just like was in the back of your head the whole time, because like he led Noctowl that game, and like after that, like he hardly used Noctowl versus you. And what did he run the second game? Medicham, Umbreon, Lantern. Dude, Medicham, Umbreon, Lantern was the second game. Okay. Then later on, he ran Umbreon, Medicham, Lantern, and then the following game after that, he ran Medicham, Umbreon, Lantern.
Yeah, and I kept trying to adjust for Noctowl.
Right. So like the first game where you were like weak to Noctowl, like it kind of like messed you up. I think that's my impression of what happened. He like kind of like psyched you out because he never ran like a team comp like that again. Really.
What my impression was that like Gliscor obviously not that good a counter to Medicham. It wins on paper, but after getting hit with one Ice Punch, like you're in danger of being like countered down and stuff. So that means I only had one proper counter to it, and it was basically just a game of like,
where's the Lantern?
Where's the Lantern, and or do I try and use the Gliscor as my Medi counter to neutralize the Lantern?
I think it was safer in that final set. I will say though that I noticed like it's like a predicament because like Medicham gets the Ice Punch much faster than you get to like a potentially threatening move.
Yeah.
So like unless you have energy going into it, it's one of those things where they're really putting shield pressure on you early on in the matchup. And I noticed like in one of the games, you shielded the early Ice Punch and then he switched, so he gets shield advantage.
Yeah.
And then in the other game, you let the first Ice Punch go, he still switched, but then at that point your Gliscor is basically no health.
Yeah.
So it's very tricky.
Yeah. I was trying to make it up as I went. And that can never end well. Thank you, Kaza, for that.
Anyways, that's my quick synopsis. Not saying you did anything wrong or right, but I mean in those scenarios, everyone makes mistakes. Like we were even going over some of the other battles. Like there was some weird stuff going on throughout the day, right? So it's tough when you're on the big stage to play perfectly, right? So
yeah, for sure. I would say that a lot of the things that look weird to outsiders, there's a perfectly good reason for. Whether they pay off or not is a different matter. but
Yeah.
like, there's often a good reason behind it.
My only thing that was my only actual thing that I thought that was kind of a misplay was in the very first battle in the winners finals. You tried to catch like a Night Slash on your, or a Sky Attack on your Lantern, and they brought in their Medi. You had the Shadow of Bomb Snow in the back.
Yeah.
You had a Night Slash loaded when you came back in with the Glyce score, and the Medicham was in Night Slash range. So, because they countered you down. So if you had thrown the Night Slash immediately, you would at least force them to use their last shield, or like lose all that energy on the Medicham, right? Yeah. So that could have potentially like helped you a bit there, but other than that, I think you played pretty darn well.
Thank you, mate. So,
not a problem.
Hoenn Cup.
I did some scrims earlier today.
Yes.
The friggin' guy I was battling kept running Registeel Sableye, and I got pissed at him.
Registeel Sableye core. I mean, that makes sense on paper. The strong anti-charmer versus the strong anti-fighter.
Oh, can I tell you about the game that I had with him? Okay.
You may.
So game 1, I had a Medicham lead with Pup Psychic, okay, because I'm still running Love Cup. And then I had Spinda and Registeel backline.
Spinda.
Okay. Yeah. So I led Medicham into Sableye, okay? I swap into Spinda. He comes in with Registeel.
Okay.
I get off basically 3 icy wins before he like focus blasts me and lock ons me down. From that point, like a Zap Cannon does like 15-20% to my Medicham, so I just counter it all the way down. Yeah. Land a Psychic on his Sableye, then switch to my Registeel. There's 2 shields up.
Pup. You said you had.
I mean, I might as well throw something that does a little. I was hoping that like a Psychic would put it in sort of like Zap-ish range, you know? In the back, he has a Regirock. Okay? I have a slight energy lead. So I'm just going straight Focus Blast. And he Focus Blasts the first one. And then the second one, he Stone Edges. So I shield the Stone Edge, obviously, which means he now outpaces me, right? So as I'm getting closer to the Focus Blast, I like just catch his Focus Blast on my Medicham. Yep. And then he pivots to Sableye. I'm able to get off a Zap Cannon first to debuff him, which allows me to survive 2 foul plays, lock him down, and then Focus Blast the Regirock in the back.
Wow. That's a play of the day.
That was... I couldn't believe it. Like, I messaged him after I like gave him like the little sunglasses emote. Like,
I'm a boss.
Okay, to be fair, my Registeel has like insane IVs, so I don't think most standard like raid Registeels would be able to survive those. Okay. I didn't think I was gonna survive the Shadow Claws, to be honest with you. Yeah. Because Lock-On doesn't do like when I saw how much the Zap Cannon did to the Sableye, I was pretty worried that I wasn't gonna be able to lock it down.
So what do you think of Regirock?
I don't like it as much as Registeel because of the Medicham matchup mainly. You could run Zap Cannon, but then you don't beat Registeel, right? Yeah. So and Stone Edge is just such a good move.
You do beat Registeel when you're running Focus Blast or Earthquake?
Well, you win CMP over Registeel.
Okay.
I'm not sure I know in Ultra League you win, but I'm not sure. Maybe the Focus Blast doesn't knock out the Registeel. It's a close matchup.
It does say it's a loss.
So possibly the Registeel is just a little bulkier than the Regirock. That's why.
Focus Blast doing 66 versus 72. I mean, it should.
It's just a lock-on damage, right? It's basically like one Focus Blast doesn't knock out, but the lock-ons are doing. Yeah, that's why you're not going to get to. So it depends. Like if you chip the Registeel at all beforehand, but but keep in mind they pace at the same time.
Mm.
So if you swap into them, they're always going to be ahead of you. The good thing is though, Regirock can bait with Stone Edge.
It can, yeah. So it can flip things.
And
up
it's a
that way.
risky, because if you no shield, like look how much damage that does. It's very risky to call a bait there, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Blob, I'm gonna have to refund that. Those rewards are for the regular GBL streams. Can't do it here.
what was it?
It's
Bad on
the
him?
dump Stardust.
Oh. No, we're saving Stardust for the next.
Yeah, that's right.
backgrounds.
We ain't, or maybe even Hoenn Cup. I don't know if we're gonna have to build something new, but yeah, that's I don't want to spend our Hoenn breakdown just building a Master League pincer.
I should go over to Hoenn then. Yeah, so basically, I think Registeel looks like probably going to be the most popular Pokemon because even versus like Swampert and stuff like that, like you can still, in Medicham, you can still do some good damage to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it says 88, whatever, 0.5 is a lead, but like Registeel, basically, you're almost always getting a shield advantage with that Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's really nice in the lead, like setting up your back, right? I think your cursor is that in the thing? Is that in the stream?
Yes.
Is it over my thing?
There.
Okay, just checking. It's a big one. That's a big cursor. Saving Stardust for Niantic's 3 Pokemon shakeup next season. Yeah, for sure. I mean, mainly for factions, right? Because I've been doing a lot of Ultra League stuff, so even like barring like major move updates, like Tentacruel looks pretty good in the upcoming Ultra League meta. So yeah, Medicham is always busted.
Yeah.
Pelipper looks really good.
There's DD.
DD always good. Oh, yeah, but again, you know, you're gonna have the same issue with DD and Medicham is that you got Sableye up there, right?
Mm.
There's
Medicham
not a
has
lot
a
of
little more against Sableye than what DD would.
very few fairies, so you're not gonna see any double charm in this cup because only one Pokemon has charm.
Actually
Well,
have charm.
actually no. Does Gallade eligible?
Yeah. No, Gallade is next generation.
So you can have actually Latias, Gardevoir. So you can, and Delcatty technically. So it looks like Delcatty is probably the hardest answer to Sableye, one of the harder answers.
Yeah.
Because you are a normal type with Charm. Does require like close to level 50 if you have like a really high ranked one. Not sure it's worth it for a normal type Charmer that also loses to Medicham, but
It's also the only non-psychic charmer.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So like if you look here, Latias, I mean it says it loses, but this is with Dragon Breath.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it still beats it with Charm, but the Shadow Claws do quite a bit of damage. Let's see here.
And you're just auto-shielding every foul play.
Yeah, so you do farm down basically from full health.
Mm.
But a Shadow Claw does 7.6%, but a Charm does 15%.
Mm.
And Foul Play does 89%.
But, I mean, look,
So-
a sneaky charmer can break up a Medicham Sableye Core. Because, like, otherwise what else can break it up?
Well, your own Sableye with energy,
Sure.
or Pelipper, in my opinion, does pretty good
Pelipper,
job
okay.
into both those things.
Look at that, ABAA.
Look at Pelipper; it narrowly beats Sableye. It's
Yeah,
not a
okay.
strong win, but like it would be annoying for Sableye, right?
You got Gardevoir. You got Marwa.
Mawa. Oh, I tried today. Ooh, I don't know about that
No good?
Pokemon.
What'd you try with Fairy Wind, Play Rough, Ironhead?
Yeah, bro, I never even got the moves, dude. Like,
Yeah, wow.
I was always like at a shield disadvantage, and they're like behind. They're like they'd have like a Sableye with a little bit extra energy. I'll tell you what, those Shadow Claws are neutral, and boy do they clap. Like my super effective Fairy Winds felt like it was doing nothing compared to their neutral Shadow Claws. So his first team that he ran was like Registeel, Sableye, Regirock, and he was running other teams with like Altaria, Sableye, Registeel. I think something like that, maybe.
Yeah, this is looking real closed. Dusclops is interesting.
Dusclops. Oh, so one Pokemon I found that has like pretty good play against the Registeel Sableye core is a Shiftry.
Oh,
specifically Shadow Shiftry, because Shadow Shiftry has potential win cons against Registeel, especially if you can get like a bit of an energy lead. Obviously it gets one shot by a Zap or a Focus Blast, but
just don't get hit by a Focus Blast. I mean, yeah. I'm not a fan of that. That's a lower score than what I would hope against Sableye.
Well, it is Shadow Shiftry, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that's
like a foul play does.
By a foul play.
A foul play does 40% to a Shadow Shiftry, so it's resisted. But like a foul play or a Leaf Blade from Shadow Shiftry on Sableye does 58%.
Yeah, okay. And you're getting really nice. That one in 9 turns as well. There's really not much that can get to a move in 9 turns.
So like if you took it to the 2 shield, potentially even more, you have like even a Shadow Claw is doing 5%, but a Snarl's doing 5%, 4.8% to a Sableye.
That's crazy.
It's Glass Cannon, right? It's one of those Pokemon where it's like even this resisted. I mean, like it still loses to Registeel. You have potential win cons if there's like a lot of shields up, or if you have energy.
Yeah,
because Foul Play just does so much. Foul Play does so much damage to Registeel.
Yeah, so Foul Play does 34%.
Right.
And
then the Snarls are doing 3%.
So what happens if you try and... Leaf Blade does 21%. What happens if you try and Foul Play? Oh, they get to the Focus Blast. That's crazy. Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, it's not a great answer to it, but, like, it's something where, like, you have some win cons, and, like, other things that could potentially beat both them, like Swampert, maybe. So Swampert beats Sableye, but you have to land a Hydra or an Earthquake in the 1 shield, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. But in the 2 shield, I believe you can go straight.
Straight Hydra.
No, it's still saying...
Oh, really?
Still saying you need an Earthquake. Let's see, 71. Yeah. Oh, it's the Shadow where you can go straight Hydro, I believe, in the... Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shadow, you can go Hydro in the 2s. But both the regular and the Shadow require you to land an Earthquake to win the 1s. So...
I've seen... Like, with those cores that I put in earlier, we had, like, Metacham Sableye, Registeel Sableye. I kept seeing Swampert as being a core breaker to all those. It
can't really deal with, like, Sableye and Metacham are just so good against it because of mainly their fast move and their spaminess, right? Because they can both either... Oh man, if you're going up against a Shadow Swampert, like those counters do so much damage.
I mean it's a good core. Here though, it beats all 3 of them.
Again, like I said, you need to land Earthquake on Sableye. I'm not sure about Metacham. It's a 507 against Metacham.
This one's going straight Hydro. So what's going on here? It's winning by 2 HP.
It's also because Metacham doesn't have Psychic. Medicham doesn't have Psychic in this meta.
Yeah.
Because in the regular Great League meta, if they bait with a pup or bait with a Ice Punch, they get to the Psychic, and which will KO you. I don't hate, like, I know it's telling you to run pup Ice Punch or whatever, but I don't hate the idea of running Psychic potentially, because like there's going to be a lot of Medicham as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always nice to have the Psychic for the mirror.
What about Dynamic Punch here? A lot of register.
I don't know. Ice Punch is. I think you want Ice Punch. You could run Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch.
Oh yeah.
But like.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Psychic is just, I don't know. Like I like Psychic because, like Pelipper, like the things that Medicham can lose to, Psychic can help it like flip some of those matchups, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like Ice Punch, Psychic, Dynamic Punch, it doesn't really matter. You're not gonna really be able to flip like a Sableye matchup, right? But if you can get off a Psychic on like you're saying, like a Swampert or a Pelipper or something, you can basically like counter it down.
Well, against a Swampert, Dynamic Punch does just as well as a Psychic. And,
yeah, against the Swampert, yes, you're right.
And you might even want to just do Ice Punches there because the counter's doing enough work, especially against a Shadow Swampert. Maybe we can Matrix battle it. See what you're losing in the ones.
It's what?
With Psychic Medicham versus DP Medicham.
Yeah, Dusclops is interesting because it has the Poltergeist, which is like a very hard-hitting move now.
Oh, okay. Like, how much does that do to a Sableye?
I don't know, but it's a very high energy. It does 74%.
Okay.
Which is a lot coming from a
is.
Dusclops. It's not exactly known for its damage. So it says here it's losing to Registeel, but if you bait, you still lose. What happens if this one doesn't debuff?
Hey, check this out. So, in the straight ones, against the default, which is your Ice Punch Psychic, the Pup Ice Punch is losing Swampert, but gaining Jirachi, and the Ice Punch Dynamic Punch just gains Jirachi, doesn't lose the Swampert.
So what are you picking up? Sorry, you're gonna lose.
So, against Ice Punch Psychic, the Pup Ice Punch gains Jirachi and loses Swampert with Sludge Wave or Hydro Cannon. The Ice Punch Dynamic Punch just gains Jirachi, doesn't lose the Swampert.
Right. It's also like not nothing against the Sims, but it's also not taking into account like scenarios where you might need a Psychic to KO something. You know, like less static situations. But
Well,
definitely
in
some
neutral
merit
situations,
to...
I'm pretty sure they've got the same damage per energy. Just like
I'm mainly talking about flying types.
okay, cool. So how...
Like specifically like Pelipper, because
Yeah.
I'm worried about Pelipper. I think it's going to be the main Medicham counter. Altaria, obviously you can Ice Punch. Tropius, you can Ice Punch.
I think
Ninjas,
Pelipper's the only
I
thing
don't
you're worried
know.
about, to be honest.
Right, and I think it's going to be very popular. I'm worried about Rayquaza too, but you can Ice Punch it.
Is there Great League Grey classes?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that.
Right down here. This is a lie, you can't get that level, but it has to be, see, level 15. Eligible. That's how you know. Evan's been trying to get one for a long time. Swellow? Who the hell said Swellow? We gotta ban that person. Swellow? Come on.
Or give him a job. Alright, so Swellow...
Let's see this.
I mean, it's above the 82 line.
Okay, it's a wing attacker. Okay,
It is a
I
wing
changed my
attacker.
mind. It could be okay-ish. Anything with wing attack might be okay. Only issue I would see is it's like sort of similar to Pidgeot,
No
where
coverage.
it's like a very mono type attacker, and you don't have the Feather Dance. Here it's saying it loses to Medicham, which is interesting.
That's
Are
crazy.
you shielding a pup bait? Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, let's turn off baiting.
And then how much does a shielded... how much does a pupped Ice Punch do?
Well, Ice Punch in general does 50% of this thing.
Far out.
One counter is doing 6%.
Far out.
So a counter does more damage than a wing attack. Percentage-wise.
You're
They
crushing
both do
the
7
Sableye,
damage.
beating Defense Deoxys, you're beating Swampert.
Yep. It seems interesting. I'm not sure it's good, but it's definitely interesting pick. Like
Flyer that beats the other main flyers, although Altaria, I imagine with shields up, can just Dragon Breath its way down through that.
yes, yeah. I mean, I think the top 2 flyers are going to be Pelipper, Altaria, obviously. Tropius seems interesting, but the thing is, though, is that Altaria and Pelipper can hit back against Registeel, whereas Tropius is kind of like a sitting duck, sort of, as they say, in that happenstance. Like, because Altaria has Dragon Breath, which is just kind of like broken. And then Pelipper, if it gets like an energy lead, those weather balls start coming out fast, and and Registeel's kind of clunky, right? So if they start shielding your zap cannons, it can get really annoying really quickly.
Medicham Double Flyer. Medicham, Pelipper, Altaria. What do you think?
Well, you would be weak to Charm. But other than that, what would you struggle against? Dusclops could be an issue for that team.
Yeah.
Like the Ice Punch, Hex Ice Punch, right?
Yeah.
So you would probably struggle against that. What else? Yeah, like a Charmer, because you're running that thing in the back.
It's like, I imagine Pelipper could even get a shield from like a Wall Rain, right?
Yeah. No, the wall. That's why I like Pelipper, because it's more neutral in a lot of things, right? Whereas like Walrein looks pretty good too. Not gonna lie. Walrein's one of those things that can beat like Sableye plus Registeel given the right circumstances as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I prefer the Shadow because of the like if you land a Shadow Earthquake on a Registeel, you do a lot of damage to it. And you basically get one shot almost anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. But hold on, we've found our answer here.
Sangu's what?
It's back. It's back for vengeance. It's like
Does that even beat Sableye? Is what I want to know.
it does. In the ones.
It has a 512 rating. It lives with 3 HP.
Let's go.
You lose the 0s and the 2s.
I mean, not everyone's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, imagine a normal type losing the 2s to Sableye.
It doesn't do particularly well against Medicham. But you land that close combat against a Registeel. Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, Registeel would actually do really nice because you have no fast move pressure against it, right? It's like the Shadow Dragonite thing.
Zangoose,
Shadow Dragonite.
Oh, as in the ready has no fast move pressure to the Zangoose.
Yeah, like it loves it. Like you can shield a Zap Cannon no problem, and just like keep building up energy.
Yeah.
And like just superpower the shit out of it. It's not like the lock-ons are going to do that much more damage. Gardevoir beats most Medi and Sableye. It's very close with Sableye. Because of the Shadow Claw damage. Like,
I think
it definitely beats Medicham pretty darn well because it is a Psychic Fairy, so it's going to be resisting counter. Although Ice Punch would probably hit it pretty freaking hard.
I think the Charm is doing a lot more damage than Shadow Claws are.
You would think.
This is just the regular. We've got 15% versus 7%, but then that's if we look at that in damage per turn, you're doing 30% every 3 turns versus 14% or 15% every 3 turns. So the Charm is literally doing twice as much damage as Shadow Claws.
What's the health at the end of the battle?
23.
It has 23 HP and doesn't even have a move.
You are.
Can you put it to a full XL Sableye, because the sim ones that they do, in my opinion, are not even very good.
I've got my settings set to rank 1 now.
Oh, let's go.
It was a tip from Yusei Furo, who was like, yeah, if you set it to rank 1, if a sim wins in the rank 1 scenario, then it's a pretty good chance it'll win against all the other IV spreads as well.
Not necessarily, but I do understand what he's saying.
Like, if you're looking at this whole shotgun approach thing, you're better off with the rank 1 than like the rank 500, like it normally does.
Yeah. Other things that seem interesting. Let's see here. Let's go through here real quick. So the ice types seem cool. But yeah, like, sure. Look at Shadow Gardevoir is better against Sableye than regular Gardevoir, I believe. They're kind of close, actually.
Look at that.
It has 34 HP. I mean, like, it wins pretty good.
But I would actually almost probably prefer the regular there, because, yeah, you're coming out with less HP, but you probably a higher chance of being able to get a move off against whatever comes in next.
Maybe.
But also, if you're running Gardevoir, you're basically playing, dodge the Rediscule as well.
You do have Shadow Ball, at least, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like a Shadow... It does 43%, so...
How much does a Charm do from a Shadow?
4.6.
Okay. Yeah, that's alright. Is there no breakpoints you can get on the guard?
No, it doesn't look like it.
That's interesting.
It says Charm does 7 damage.
At all times.
According to this. Well, I'm not building a Shadow Gardevoir, so it doesn't really matter to me, but... Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, people are going to use Charm, right? People love Charm. Especially when they're... Yeah, it's like one of those things where it can like take out like one. It's good. I think it's what its job is good for is like maintaining switch for you. Like, let's say you have it in the back, and then like they swap into like a Medicham or something, and you basically want to RPS opponent. Gardevoir is good to do that because you can just bring it in, shield once, you keep switch, right?
Yeah.
It's like a brainless thing. So
thanks, Huzia.
It's definitely good in that respect. Whereas like Mawile is a little different, plays a little different as a fairy type. Because as you can see here, it loses to Medicham in certain scenarios. Obviously, Play Rough does 85% to a Medicham. So there's that.
Cordelia's an interesting one. That's always been like an interesting type buster. Like it's a rock type that doesn't necessarily, well, that beats the waters pretty comfortably. It's a grass type that's not weak to fire, although there's not really much fire going on in this meta.
Okay, for the record, it depends on how good your Mawile is. Oh, this is Shadow Mawile even too. If you have a really good one, you can bait with a Iron Head and get to a Play Rough to kill the Medicham in the one shield.
I don't like that you're having to bait with your fairy to just narrowly beat the fighter.
You're a steel type, okay? Let's just remember that. And this thing has counter. Counter does 7 damage, Fairy Wind does 4 damage. So, but it does, Play Rough does 83%. So, Mawile's, this is a shadow version.
Yeah.
Which I don't have powered up.
I guess again, it could be just you don't necessarily have to be going for the win. You could just be trying to get a shield advantage out of that because they have to respect the Play Rough.
So regular Mawile doesn't need the bait against Medicham.
Okay, now I want to see what Medicham can do in the 2-1s. It's like 2-1 against, I think.
2-1 against what?
2-1 against your shields. So if it's got a 2-1 shield disadvantage. Oops. There we go. And I'm gonna run it with
against what?
damage. The meta.
Against Mawile?
Because like I'm thinking, the Mawile will often lose against the Medicham, but it has to get a shield out of it, right? So I'm just wondering how much of a difference that will make. Like if the Medicham shields once, and then your Mawile goes down, like is the Medicham gonna care that it's got one less shield at that point?
Depends if you're trying to like flip switch or something like that, right?
Well, that's
like
what I'm
if
trying
you
to work out. Like
if you swap into a Medicham, like obviously it depends on the elo range you're in, but if you swap into the Medicham and your opponent answers you with a Mawile, then you can just flip switch, guaranteed, right? You just double shield, you counter through it.
Give me a sec. I've developed a cold, so I'm blowing my nose a lot.
Sounds like it. Too much partying.
Iris says, when I made teams, I replaced Medi's role with Deoxys, so I didn't get targeted by fighting weakness. I feel people will pivot to Deoxys and Vig when Medi gets countered. Vigoroth is something we haven't looked at yet.
Well, Deoxys and Medicham are very similar. You do have the fighting weakness, but mainly you target them with ghost type stuff, which they're both weak to, right? Deoxys does do better against things like Pelipper and such, but it also does worse against things like Swampert and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they definitely have pros and cons, I would say. Also something like here that I've been very interested in trying out for this meta, Flygon.
Yeah.
So Deoxys loses to Flygon, but like you can see here, it's a 474. Whereas Medicham with the Ice Punch coverage helps you a lot versus certain things, right? So I don't have a shadow flag on, unfortunately. I wasn't there when that was released. But you can see technically Flygon wins here. This is with a bait. Also, you're shielding a Thunderbolt, which feels really bad.
That's yeah. No, I mean you wouldn't shield there, right? You wouldn't shield the first one, knowing that you can tank a Psycho Boost and so throwing Thunderbolt would be.
I mean, you would want to shield the first Psycho Boost, though, right? So.
How much does the Psycho Boost do? Like.
40%.
Yeah, I mean you can.
There's a lot. So you can go. So if you shield, so you can see here, if you shield Earth Power, even if the Flygon shields the first Psycho Boost, you can get the 2 more Psycho Boosts and knock out the Flygon before you die.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Because how much does counter do?
It's doing 4% at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then it goes down to, it starts at 5 damage after 1 Psycho Boost. You only drop down to 4 damage. So you're getting quite a lot of counters in here. You might seem like you're debuffed, but it's only 1 less damage per, which isn't too bad, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might as well just, in that scenario, you might as well just farm to like 100 and then just start firing off Psycho Boost, like no problem, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they both have pros and cons for sure. Like Medicham, Deoxys, they play similar and different, right? With Thunderbolt, Deoxys also can beat Medicham, which is nice.
I
definitely like Deoxys for one of my teams, for some of my teams too. So.
And you got to go Thunderbolt, right? No
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Rockslide good for Altaria and stuff, but Thunderbolt is better for Registeel and also Medicham, so...
And I think Registeel's the one you've got to be able to play more around.
Yeah. Well, and it's insane because, again, even like some Registeels, like depending on their stats, you can still win the 0 shield against Deoxys.
Yeah.
So you have to get the debuff though. You need to get a debuff on the first one, and then you survive the second Thunderbolt to get off a Zap Cannon with like 1 HP. So they would have to decide if they want to shield there. Medicham or Vigoroth is interesting. I don't hate it. It's definitely could be very annoying into certain team comps. It's just always a little underwhelming in like a meta where Medicham is so strong because it's such a hard negative matchup for it. Also, Sableye, it just like doesn't do as, you know, it's just a Bulldoze. I wish it had something else other than Bulldoze. It'd be so much better against the ghost types.
I mean,
if
we
it
don't
had
want it to be
anything.
better, though.
Yeah, we do. Come on, give it something
Hydro
good.
Cannon.
No, they're speculating. Give it a Outrage or something like that.
Oh. Okay.
Something that's like, you know, not a busted move.
Yeah.
But like good, decent coverage for what it's got. You know.
Check this out. Against the meta with 2 wing attacks lead, Pelipper's got a 16-5 rating. It's losing to the Registeel still. And like those 3 are pretty meta. Regirock, Registeel, Altaria. The Minun, I don't know how much we'll see. And the Jirachi, maybe.
Yeah. I like Pelipper a lot.
Yeah.
I think that like if you want to build a good team, I would definitely say build around Pelipper.
You just got to be able to handle Registeel.
Yeah, and Walrein, which is why Pelipper and Medicham seem pretty nice together. Or Deoxys, you could run too. Even you could run Vigoroth with Pelipper if you want to go down that road. Definitely, you would like maybe you could run like Registeel as like a pivot or something, so that you could try to bait out some stuff, and also you'd be able to get like at least a shield back from that matchup and not get completely destroyed, right? Although pup, if the metis are running pup, then Registeel doesn't. I don't know if it guarantees getting a shield.
You probably wouldn't get a shield, but you'd be able to like counter down, build up a whole bunch of energy, right?
No, the Registeel, I'm saying, getting a shield for the meta.
Yeah.
If they're running pup. So usually the Registeel would have like, let's say 2 lock-ons lead. Okay, even with pup, you still get the 2 zap cannons, so that's fine then. That's all you need. If they swap into you, as long as you can get to 2 zap cannons, you're fine.
Yeah.
Because then you're guaranteed to take a shield. Oh, that's getting a debuff once. I wonder if you don't get this debuff.
Then you don't win. Oh.
You don't get there.
Interesting. So the first one needs to. And what is it? A 30%? It's 30%, right?
The debuff chance? No, it's 66%.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's like it's good enough that like you can get it on most times, but like it'll definitely cost you a battle or two where you don't get it, and then they just counter you all the way down, and then you both have 2 shields, and they have like a crap ton of energy, and then a non-debuff Pokemon. Because at least if you get a shield and they're at least if you get a shield, it's 30% if you're Caleb Peng. I mean, that's just the way the averages work, right? Sometimes you can throw that thing like 3-4 times and you don't get anything, right? Other times, every time you throw it, you get debuffed. What is this? Pelipper Swampert Registeel?
Yeah.
Actually, that was one of the teams I was looking at too.
Okay.
But it's just a little awkward versus Swampert or Registeel leads.
Yep.
And also, one thing that so the problem I found was, so let's say you have a Pelipper into Registeel. You want to go into what? Your Registeel, I guess? But then you're behind on energy because you're swapping into them, right? So they're always going to outpace you.
I assume this is leading the Reggie.
Registeel Swampert?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you could try that too.
I mean,
I don't consider Swampert a very good answer to Medicham, but it's definitely has play.
So could you, well, does the Medicham doesn't come out of the Swampert matchup? Even if it wins, it doesn't come out with a whole bunch of energy, right? Unless maybe it's running pup.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe like
it's fine, I guess, but so you wouldn't want to safe swap the Swampert. Most likely, you would probably swap into Pelipper.
Okay. Then you are inviting the Registeel counter swap.
Which is fine, because you can chip it and get it low enough. I don't hate it. Yeah, if you lead Registeel, you could try that. I'll probably run Altaria Walrune Registeel, just because that's what I got. Just going to play real careful around Medi. Yeah, like I said before, the Registeel can potentially get a shield, but you will have the issue of the Medicham. So if there's a Medicham in the back, you're gonna lose, right? You also don't have a Pokemon in the lead that can eat much energy from Medicham. So whereas, not saying like maybe they don't have these Pokemon, but like Sableye, for instance, can take an Ice Punch no problem, right? Especially if you debuff it. But if the Medicham comes out of the Registeel matchup buffed and with some energy and Ice Punches, you might as well just top left the game, right? You're basically praying that your opponent doesn't have Medicham.
Yeah.
With that team.
Which is a tall ask.
Like, you can consider using Deoxys. Sorry, I'm saying just real quick. You could try using Deoxys instead of Altaria, possibly.
And what difference would that make?
It just does. It's a little more reliable, I think, against Medicham as a counter. You're not as reliant as like on shields, and if the Medicham does have energy, you can soak it a little better with Deoxys. And your back two Pokemon still should be able to handle Sableye pretty decently as well. So
Clap for the Wolfman says DD lead, SS, which I assume is Shadow Sableye to bait out Reggie, and Shadow Guard in the back.
I don't know. I wouldn't bring a Registeel into a Shadow Sableye safe swap. I would hope I would have something better than that.
That was my
safe swap thought, to bait out Reggie.
Okay, so what are you safe swapping then?
Shadow Gardevoir in the back. Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting. Team, what would you want to bait out of Reggie? Spinda. Okay. Yeah, it's... I mean, if they have a
Walrein, it would be a problem.
I think, like, what we're talking about is, like, Pelipper would probably be a little safer.
Yeah.
If you do have it, because you don't have... You have more neutral play against, like, Walrein and stuff. Things like that, whereas if they do have a Walrein, you're in kind of a lot of trouble. So I tend to think of things more as pivots, as sort of safer option, not safer, but like more neutral against the meta. So that's why even like I didn't even hate Spinda as a safe swap, because even if they do have a Registeel, I got off so many icy wins that I was just able to like counter down with Medi and like not have to worry about eating charge moves at all. And I literally came out with 100 energy.
How long does that matchup take though? Because what I've found with that kind of debuff your counter strat is that often they'll just they'll be left with enough HP that they can switch it out once the switch time is done, reset those stats, and then still have a bunch of energy remaining and still be able to wreak havoc against the rest of your team.
I mean, they can do that if they want, but they have the lead is like Sableye and the Medicham. So if they switch out, that means they give me switch advantage.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
which is actually kind of what I want. So they're incentivized not to switch because they have such a good lead matchup, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Plus, you could run Dig, you know? I swear. They're definitely going to buff it. Eventually.
That'd be cool. Dusclops versus Sableye. How much does a Poltergeist do? It does 70%.
Yeah, it does a lot. But Sableye it's a very high energy move, right? Like, it takes you a while to get there.
I'm just thinking, Dusclops seems pretty safe, obviously, against everything except the Sableye. But could you, if you found yourself in a situation where you safe swap the Dusclops and they have the Sableye, like, could you at least get a shield out of them?
How much does a Hex do? Probably.
Hex does 3%. 3% into so
70 energy? Or how much is it? 70?
It's about 70 damage. 70% damage.
No, how much energy is the Poltergeist?
75.
Well, the thing is, if you landed a Poltergeist, you could probably shield, and maybe you would probably have to double shield, but you could hex through it. I mean, it's a possibility. You could play out like the 2 zeros.
So you think double shielding to try and win back switch there?
Depends on how important switch is and how many shields you need. Like, for instance, in the ring when I was battling Smiley, like I had a Noctowl in the back and they had a Trevenant in the lead. So I don't give a shit about shields at that point.
Yeah.
I just want to get the Noctowl on the Trev. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have shields because I don't need shields for that matchup, right? But if getting switch is just going to lead you to getting swept by their lead Pokemon anyways, then is it really that beneficial?
No.
So it's really a calculated risk based on what you think their team comp is, right?
Right. This whole time I didn't have XL Pokemon up.
What's the difference?
I mean, it didn't show Medicham and Sableye.
Oh, I was looking at I like Flygon, but I don't think it's very good. My friend told me to stop running it, so... But you have, like... So, like, if you look here, Matrix... It's Dragon Tail. 11 and 10 against the meta.
11 and 10, but it's got a losing average.
But look at what you can beat. Sableye, Swampert, Pelipper, Defense Deoxys, Registeel you can beat. Even with it's very close. And you might have to beat a Dragon Claw, but you know.
Would you run Mudshot?
Probably not. I would probably run Dragon Tail, but I guess it depends on what position I'm using it in.
Because Mudshot's obviously a lot better against your Reggie.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of Altaria and stuff, which is what I'm worried about. And like, if you don't have any sort of pressure against it, it's like such an awkward matchup when they're dealing super effective damage to you and you're dealing like double resisted damage that does nothing. So I don't know, I like the Dragon Tail. Like the ability to beat like Pelipper and Sableye seems like a nice combination.
Yeah.
Like look at you can beat Pelipper just straight Dragon Claw, obviously. Only in the ones. Keep that in mind. But they have to double shield if they want to beat you. And Sableye, it wins pretty well because you win CMP, I guess. And you guys pace around the same time, so it beats Sableye pretty good. I mean, let's say it's a Sableye lead and they have a Registeel in the back. Are they really gonna want us? Like, I guess they have to switch in their Registeel, but at that point, like, you're in a not bad spot, right?
Right.
I want to see how Mudshot actually Flygon does against Sableye. Probably not as good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, I imagine.
No, it loses everything but the 2 shield. And please don't tell me you're double beating. Yeah. Oh, you're straight Dragon Claw. Oh god. 1, 2, 3, 4 Dragon Claws later.
And yeah, I mean, it's going straight Dragon Claw after building up to an Earth Power too, by the look of it.
Yes. Every time.
Yeah, so it's like constant baiting. Hey, Ben.
But then it doesn't need to bait anymore. Yo, what's up, Ben Speedy? Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, I don't know. I still like Dragon Tail, but I don't think it's like a Metamon. It's just something like interesting that I liked. That like could be kind of a cool core breaker. Potentially.
I'm feeling like you just have to have Sableye. Like, period. I'm feeling like it is just so like there's no hard counter into hard counter situation there. Like, if you safe swap Sableye, there's just nothing that you can't get some sort of shield from or can't like fight for switchback.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty darn good. It's annoying. What do you do if you don't have a Sableye? You build a Sableye.
Yeah, build. So I'm seeing Swampert is the safest thing against Sableye, funnily enough.
I wasn't using Sableye in any of my teams that I was practicing with, but I was using Registeel a lot. I think if you don't have a Sableye, the second best Pokemon to use is probably Registeel, as long as you know how to use it.
Yeah.
Again, the key to Registeel usage is shield pressure on your opponents. You don't necessarily have to always win matchups, but it's like really good at giving you shield advantage or like inflicting massive damage. Also, Pelipper, I think, is almost as flexible as Sableye.
Yeah, sure.
Because with the energy lead, like, you are annoying to Registeel, and you can always swap out of that matchup because you're going to be firing off so many weather balls. You're going to like reset the switch clock, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no Charm. Charm is banned, who's here, so maybe you should just sit this one out.
The Charmers are Gardevoir, Latios and Latias, and Delcatty.
The Latias, one of them, Latios, or which is it? I don't think Latias has Charm.
Oh, that's right.
Only
Yeah,
Latios.
It was, yeah, Shadow and regular Latios was what I was looking at.
Yeah, Latias is the one with Charm, the shitty
yeah.
one that doesn't have Dragon Claw. The other one, Latios, is actually ranked 35 as a Shadow, and with wins that such as Deoxys Defense. So here's another one, Metacham wins that. Tropius, Wishcash, Swampert, Registeel it even beats. Interesting.
That's interesting. Because it's
and the
resistant to
regular
Focus
also
Blast
beats
and the Dragon Claw, and so Focus Blast and the Zap Cannon, which is
right.
interesting.
Interesting.
And what typing is Luster Purge? Is that Dragon?
It is a psychic type move.
Okay.
And I believe it has a potential buff thing on it. Let me check real quick. Maybe I might have to build a... I have a really good Shadow one, actually.
You know what?
Yeah.
That could be a real good idea, because one of my things that I like to tell people is like, if you can discover win conditions that not many other people know about, then that will put you at a huge advantage. And seeing that you can beat a Registeel with a Shadow Latios, that, I mean, you if you swap into your Shadow Latios and they counter with a red, like a lot of people would counter with a Registeel there, right? Or
it's
a lot
Dragon.
of people would. A lot of people would probably also counter with the Sableye.
You destroy it in the 2 shields. So Luster Purge has a... It's a very good... It's a pretty darn good move. It's 60 energy, does 120 damage, and it has a 50% chance of lowering the opponent's defense by 1 stage.
Actually, if you go into the Sims, how, like, is that debuff being applied? Do you have to...
No, they're even baiting with a
Wow.
Dragon Claw. But I think in the 2 shield, you do have to double bait, which is interesting. Not sure a Registeel. It does 40% to the Registeel, so
I mean,
it is kind of threatening. Yeah, unfortunately you can't go straight Luster Purge and win this matchup according to this.
What if you? What if the first one gets the debuff?
You just don't get to enough moves. Is the problem.
Okay. Yeah.
But they might not shield. Like it's.
Oh, sure.
I mean, they might also shield.
Can
you go straight Dragon Claw? Let me see if you can go straight Dragon Claw. That's with a debuff.
Mm.
It's okay. So if they swap into you, I think you can win it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can win it straight Dragon Claw in the 2s if they swap into you, because you will outpace to enough Dragon Claws with the Dragon Breath damage to be able to KO them.
Yeah.
And it looks like after a Zap Cannon, your Dragon Breath's still doing 2 damage. But let's see if they get the second debuff, that might flip it. Yeah, they need to get 2 debuffs in order to win that matchup. So definitely interesting.
Now, how does it do against Sableye?
Probably not amazing.
Yeah. Do they get to 2 foul plays? Or is that just a farm down? Yeah, they just farm you down.
Yeah,
right?
they just farm it down. They come up with 88 energy.
Mm.
It's not amazing.
Yeah, I know, Ari. I'm just thinking, like, I had a situation once where I was doing a Silph battle and I saw Shadow Latios on my opponent's team. And I was like, well, I mean, half of my team's steel. Like, this isn't a problem. But then, like, it got to Battle 3, and they brought in the Shadow Latios, and it managed to, like, 2-shield grind its way through my Wormadam to win back switch advantage and win the battle, and I'm like, shit! So, like, typing might not necessarily matter, but it looks like it still does in this case. The Shadow Claws are just doing too much damage.
Against Sableye, yes, because it's super effective. Keep in mind, though, I will say, a Dragon Claw does 40% to a Sableye.
Yeah, okay.
So, there's that. You're basically guaranteed to get a shield. You just need to have someone to soak 100 energy from a Sableye.
Mm-hmm.
Which, not sure there's much that want to do that, right?
No.
At 88 energy. I mean, sure, like, you just come in with your, what can eat that much energy? Your Chansey, right? You just come in with your Chansey.
Come in with the Chansey.
Pound it down, no problem.
Your Gen 3 Chansey.
Blissey.
Yep, the Gen 3 Blissey.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's definitely like not perfect, but it definitely seems interesting. Dragon's always a good typing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if the Psychic helps it or hurts it, but
yeah, I mean, it hurts it in some ways and helps it in others, right?
the one that I have is, it says it's like a really good rank. It gets to 1496 actually.
1496, alright, nice.
As a shadow, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not sure if I want to spend the dust, but it is a fun Pokemon.
A Shadow Legendary as well.
I've only built one of these before, I think. That's another thing we haven't talked about too, is that Shadow Registeel is a thing. And
at number 11.
Yeah, it's definitely probably has pros and cons, right?
I mean, you need that Luster Purge, right?
And its legacy, is that what they're saying?
Just claws. No, yeah, just Dragon Claw.
Luster Purge is legacy, FYI.
Yeah.
I'm like a PvP snob, so I usually double move my Pokemon.
Yeah.
Just in case. It feels awkward. I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I'm playing it with one move. Not that it's not. Not that there's nothing wrong with running with one move in most scenarios, but like I'm just always thinking like, what about that one time when I'm like, your farm something down and you need a one shot like a Metacham, Just like a hypothetical situation.
So, the win-loss is the same. The average is a fair chunk lower.
For which?
The regular versus Shadow Registeel. Shadow Registeel picks up regular Registeel and Sableye. It loses Altaria and Regirock.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't survive the Focus Blast. And plus the lock-ons to Regirock, right?
And I'm looking at the Registeel mirror. Focus Blast doing 71 there, doing 70 there.
Should do about the same regardless, because well, actually it is different if you're simming with rank 1s, because the rank 1 shadow is different than the rank 1 non-shadow, because you have an IV floor of 6 for shadow legendaries.
Yeah.
So
and I assume this would be just using an IV floor of 0. No? Hang on.
2 is wrong.
Yeah.
You can't have less than 6
Yeah.
for shadow legendaries.
I don't know why the regulars got a floor of 6.
That is weird. Anyways, I think the regular is probably better, unless you want to have fun. I mean, it's the end of the season. Most people have probably already, like, bored or whatever with the season by now. Maybe they just want to play around with Shadow Registeel or wait for the new move updates. So.
Alright, Shadow Sableye versus regular.
I kind of like Shadow Sableye. I kind of want to build one, but I can't, again, I need to save my Stardust for friggin' Ultra League, so I need to build way too many things, plus potential move updates.
It's the most expensive league.
And I built a lot of stuff recently. Like a lot of stuff. I built a Blastoise.
Blastoise is good. Blastoise is underrated.
It's really good. I should have swept him, but I made one little misplay in the final battle, and so I ended up getting a 2-1. But Blastoise was really freaking good for me. What else did I build that was really good? I don't know, that's it. Oh, Lantern. Lantern was also really good.
Yeah, right. Just those level 50 hundos. Just all of them level 50.
Well, Blastoise isn't a hundo. It's like
a
0... No, it's a 0-14 something. Wow. It's like a rank 3. It doesn't even quite need level 50. It was like 200 XLs to power up. The Lantern is a 98 with Lucky. So I also built a Noctowl. That was a hundo.
Wow.
Fish can't even dream.
Yeah, okay.
About these types of things.
Yeah.
Yo, play Pokemon in Ultra League. Go. Try to win second there, son of a bitch.
I'll do it with my all non-XL team.
And he's got a Gengar. Okay, Gengar and his Scrafty. Let's see how this goes.
Focus
Is he
Blast.
gonna shield the Focus Blast?
Safe swap, of course.
Right. Gengar into Shadow Drapion.
Oh yeah, just use
now
my use the
now you're in
power.
trouble. Yeah, Earth Power.
Gengar.
What is it? Precipice Blades Gengar? Is that what you have?
That's exactly what. Yeah, I got it during the during Johto tour. Actually, it was weird that they were making that available then.
Sounds like someone's doing something funny with their game.
Regular versus Shadow Sableye. The Shadow is picking up Altaria, Pelipper, Walrein. It's losing Registeel, regular Sableye, Vigoroth, and Whiscash. Now, Vig and Whiscash I don't care too much about. Registeel and regular Sableye is a bit of a problem. But then again, like Altaria, Pelipper, Walrein, they're all pretty meta picks too, so I feel like you're gaining more.
The Altaria one is like kind of nice.
Yeah.
Same with Walrein. Walrein, again, it's one of those similar things to Swampert, where they have to land an Earthquake in the one shield.
Oh, and that's with the attack drop. Hang on.
They're gonna get that. You know they're gonna get that shit.
Well, if they manage to debuff you twice. Sorry, if they manage to zap cannon twice without debuffing you, then you do beat it.
It's very close, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people also have higher attack Shadow Sableyes. Because it's like, it's supposed to be better in certain matchups. Okay. So, like, I know people build, like, ones with, like, 8, 9, 10 attack on their Sableye. For the Shadow, specifically. I think Jason was like a big proponent of that.
Yeah, but it means then you have to shield the zap cannon, so you can't let one through.
I mean, it looks like it does quite a lot regardless.
Yeah, this is ranked.
I would be tempted to shield it regardless.
Yeah.
Like I have the shadow Sableye I was thinking of building is like a 9, 15, 13. It's a rank 350, but it's like it's simmed pretty good against a lot of things. So, and it has a bit higher attack. So,
sounds alright.
Yeah, I have another one that's like really like stat product C ranked, but it requires me to like level it at 50.5, so it's kind of annoying. But
no close combat. Sorry, is that no Hariyama? I mean, I
don't know.
Your advantage of Hariyama is that that's actually not that bad a matchup against Sableye.
That would be the benefit because the close combat would do a lot to it. Also, Heavy Slam kind of would help you against maybe like a Steel type potentially, or sorry, a Fairy type. Like in an end game scenario, you could like heavy. I bet you a Heavy Slam would do a crap ton to like a Gardevoir. Like let's see here, Heavy Slam does 92%. So, I mean, it's not like I don't know. In my opinion, I guess if you really love Hariyama and it's like one of your favorite Pokemon, I think
there's a place for it.
Yeah, you might want to try it now or forever, like hold your peace or whatever they say, because Jirachi useless. I don't think Jirachi is useless. I definitely think it's good.
Well,
it just has the Sableye issue. It's a small issue with Sableye. That's it. That's it. Literally,
Deoxys. It loses to Registeel. It loses to Swampert.
It only loses. Yeah, it's only the fact that its key losses are basically the top 5 Pokemon. Other than that, like it's pretty good. It does really well against some things, right? Doom Desire is a really good move.
It is.
It is a really good move, and it hits really hard. So, I like Jirachi. I used it before in Silph, and I found a lot of success with it. But if there's a lot of Sableye, it's tricky to use. Very tricky to use. Because even here it's recommending Dazzle and Gleam, but it's like, it's 70 fucking energy. Excuse my language. Like, and you will never get there. You win the 1-0.
Maybe if you're running Charge Beam.
If you win the 1-0 against Sableye because you can make it to a Dazzle and Gleam. But Doom Desire does 46% to Sableye. So, I mean, like, if you could farm something down and come back into a Sableye, like, it would definitely want to respect those charge moves.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about Jirachi. Is like Doom Desire is a good move. So, like, what's the DPE versus Sableye? It's 1.45 as neutral, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Like Hydro Cannon is 1.6 neutral, so it's slightly better in that scenario. But the Doom Desire's resisted there. I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, it got worse.
Yeah. Wonder why.
I do have a couple nice Shadow Hariyamas, but again, I'm gonna tell myself I'm not gonna spend I'm probably gonna play around with Spinda because I finally got the last XL I needed to finish that. So.
Well, it's Psycho Card, Icy Wind, and I keep on forgetting the second move.
It's either Dig or Rock Tomb.
That's
depending on what you want to use.
Yeah.
So Rock Tomb would help you versus what, like Ice types. So like it would be good against like Walrein or something like that. Yeah, Pelipper you could hit for super effective damage. So I think I will just run like that moveset and be like, because like you're not gonna beat a Registeel with Dig anyways, so who gives a crap?
Yeah.
About that matchup. And if you want to bait out a Registeel, nothing's better than a Spinda, I swear to God. If they have a Registeel in the back, they're definitely bringing it out. Unless they have a Medicham and a Registeel in the back, in which case you're probably going to get RPS.
Yeah, like
maybe.
we look. Wasn't that one of the first things we looked at? Was Medicham Registeel?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's up to you if you want to run it. Other interesting picks. Credilli. I don't know if it's that good. It does get walled by Registeel, but it does beat a lot of the water types and has play against like Altaria and Sableye and stuff like that. So, again, we talked about this earlier. Shiftry. Ludicolo seems interesting because of the Ice Beam. Leaf Storm combo.
Stunfisk isn't an option in this meta, Irie. Unfortunately.
Who said that? Regirock is so fast, 11 and 13 turns for its moves with Stunfisk coverage.
Yeah, it is super
with
fast.
Stunfisk coverage.
Oh, right, like as in running the Stunfisk moveset of Rock and Ground.
Is it 11 turns to Stone Edge?
It is.
It's 5 energy. It's 5 energy for a lock on, right?
Mm.
So that would be 5.5 lock-ons to...
5.5
No.
lock-ons. No, it's
5 lock-ons.
It's 11 to a Stone Edge.
5 times 5 is 50.
5 times 5 is 25, Lyle.
Oh no, I'm thinking of 5 times 2. And okay, my math in my head is checking out, okay? not in real life. I'm thinking in 2 turns. That's why I get confused sometimes. Right, that makes sense. Excel
GBL
point,
leaderboard player.
no.
Over here.
I think about it in 2 turns, okay? Relax. It doesn't matter how my brain thinks about it. It just matters that I can do it when I'm playing, right? Relicanth, I guess? You could run Relicanth?
Hey, and we got Hoenn tour on the weekend.
What was Cruiser saying? Spoink, dude? No. Whalmer, though, could be fun. Whalmer has Heavy Slam, you know? For those types.
I'd rather use a Relicanth than a Whalmer.
I wouldn't. You can use a Shadow Whalmer.
Take that, Lyle.
Spoink beats your Hariyama. I didn't say use Hariyama. I said if you wanted to use Hariyama, you could.
I'm telling you, I know you're set on Hariyama, but I don't think it's going to be the best pick.
Spoink is down here at 136. Okay, so it beats Slacking, which everything beats. We've already been over this. Beats Breloom. I don't expect many people to be using that. It basically only beats fighting types and poison, it looks like. Registeel, Altaria, Swampert. Okay, no, that thing sucks. Roselia, there's kind of a cool one. But it doesn't have... Oh, it doesn't have Fireball. It only has very nuky moves, so that's no, right, never mind. Yeah. Don't use that one.
Return Waylord from Infamous.
And so if you want to use a water gun user, I would definitely suggest Castform over Waylord or Whalmer. You do lose the Pelipper, but the Thunder Weather Ball is nice coverage. And again, you'd be getting shields from Registeel. Oh yeah, well they have to shield the Thunder, right?
Right.
Minum again, like definitely destroys Pelipper, right? If you really hate Pelipper, you don't even need to run Spark. You could run Quick Attack if you want.
And you'd be running Grass Knot as your second move. I mean, they're recommending Thunderbolt instead of Discharge. Interestingly.
I would probably run Discharge. But it doesn't really matter. You can run either or. See, you're electric type that beat ground type. You beat Registeel, apparently. Maybe that's why. Maybe you beat Registeel with Thunderbolt. But you don't beat it with Discharge, possibly. Yeah. So then maybe that is a worthwhile thing to run it for. I will assume that you don't beat Registeel with Quick Attack then.
You still do. Wow.
Okay. That's them going Focus Blast too. I mean, it doesn't do that much damage difference. They could probably just go Zap Cannon. Yeah. There you go. We'll go back to Spark for the Zap Cannon abusers. Yeah. If you get a debuff, you can just go straight Zap Cannon versus them.
Yeah.
Feels bad to be a Minum in today's economy, but it had a good run in Ember, so...
It did.
You know?
You didn't use it in the end, though, did you?
I didn't, but people on my team tried it. They didn't like it so much. But when the other people were using it against us, it was annoying to deal with. Like, you kind of have to line up the Quillfish on it or something. The Hisuian Quillfish. Maybe Trevenant should have got more use with that thing running around. Maybe, I don't know. I like Seviper. It's an interesting pick. Crunch, Poison Fang. It hits very hard. You can beat Medi here. Pelipper, Tropius, Deoxys. Altaria, it's kind of close. This thing was good, but it wasn't for Medicham Registeel. Like, if they ban Medicham Registeel, then Castform would be way better, obviously.
It's Milotic Gen 3. Oh, it is too.
I don't think it's good, but it's something. Spinda, here we go. Really good Pokemon. Incredibly amazing. Okay, this is one that's kind of interesting. Shadow Banette.
Why Banette over any other ghost?
Because you can beat Registeel and Medicham pretty well.
Couldn't Dusclops do that? Or did Registeel beat Dusclops?
I don't think Registeel beats Dusclops. If I remember correctly. Yeah, doesn't beat it.
Registeel doesn't beat Dusclops?
Oh, Dusclops doesn't beat Registeel.
Right. Okay.
And then once we get down into this area, these Pokemon are trash.
Yeah.
But Rayquaza here, it says it has 2 wins, 19 losses against the meta. How about if we give it Breaking Swipe? There you go. 10 and 11.
Yeah, alright.
And Hurricane? No.
No, that's worse.
Prefers Ancient Power. Or how about Aerial Ace? Okay, Aerial Ace, Ancient Power. What do you beat? Minum, Swampert, Sableye, Tropius, Pelipper, Shiftry, Barely, Vigoroth. Yeah. Interesting.
Galarian,
very rare to...
Galarian Lanoon with Snarl, Body Slam, and Gunk Shot.
It's not eligible.
Galarian Lanoon. It's got that Pokedex number.
Galarian.
Mm.
You're saying Galarian.
Yes. Well, I mean, both are eligible.
How can Galarian Lanoon be eligible in Hoenn Cup?
It just goes by Pokedex number.
What? How is that even possible?
So Galarian Lanoon has the same Pokedex number as Hoenn Lanoon.
I think that's should be banned. Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of cool. Double weak to counter. It is pretty spammy. It's an interesting matchup with Sableye though, because technically your only neutral damage is Snarl.
Mm.
Right?
But it's triple resisting Shadow Claw and resisting the Foul Play, so...
What else does it have? Dig. Oof. I don't know, man. You can use it if you want. I'm not sold, but...
If it had a better second charge move, it would be pretty interesting.
If it had something like Crunch or even like Brutal Swing, I think it would be a lot better. Manetrix here.
Mm-hmm.
This thing beats Registeel. There you go.
Not a fan.
Torkoal. Ninjask. Can beat Medicham. TV. Shadow Ball for coverage. There you go. Metagross is eligible, apparently.
So, the meta is basically built around Metagross, Sableye, Medicham, Redisteel, Altaria, Swampert, and Pelipper. I think that's the 5. The 6.
DD. I would throw
and
DD in.
Yep, DD.
And then if you want to throw in any other flyers, like maybe Altaria.
I think I said Altaria.
And if you want to throw in like another, like a secondary anti-flyer, like Walrein, I would say, is probably going to be pretty common. But, so what did you say, sorry?
Okay, so we'll narrow it down to, I think, these 8. Redisteel, Medicham, Pelipper, Sableye, Altaria, DD, and Swamp.
Sure.
And Walrein.
Yeah, honorable mention to Walrein. Basically, yeah, everything. Those look like the top meta, like very flexible, good picks. Other than that, like maybe you can make an argument for a Wishcash, sort of. Like these ones all like have play, but they're not as versatile, right? Like, could you say Regirock is good? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it going to get absolutely pummeled by a Metagam? Yes. So.
And it's not going to have too much play against a Redisteel either, I don't think.
Regirock always sims high, too. Like, if you look here, like, Regirock's supposed to be ranked 29 in Green League. When's the last time you saw someone run a Regirock in Open Green League? Maybe you could say accessibility issues, but now everyone has access to them after that,
promotion
that thing.
Yeah. Thank you for the follow, Stony, TMT.
Double Ghost? Sounds good. Yeah, Sableye and, like, Sableye and what's that other thing?
Burnett. Dusclops.
No, Dusclops. Yeah, could be interesting.
Yeah, you brought up Burnett before, and now you're like, no. Oh.
Well, I was just saying. I think Caleb Peng really likes Burnett. Shadow Burnett.
I mean, I like the Shadow Claw Shadow Ball combo. Like, how many Shadow Ballers are in the meta? It's like
Shadow Ball.
Gardevoir.
I have to say at, right? Come on, stupid thing.
No, Glalie is in there.
Get Glalie out of here, man.
I mean, I've had some success in some metas with Glalie. But it just gets absolutely destroyed by that Redisteel Metacham core.
Claydol seems interesting. I don't know. Like, it does really well against Registeel and Deoxys if you're running Mud Slap. You beat both those.
I'm surprised it doesn't beat Metacham.
Ice Punch.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I mean, you've got Shadow Ball and you're resisting counters. Like, you would think that would be a little easier for the Claydol.
It doesn't even get to
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, this is with that's with Mudslap. What about?
Yeah, I think Mudslap's better. Still
loses. That's nuts.
It doesn't have anything at all remotely low energy, right? That's the problem.
No.
I think Mudslap's better because you're gonna do much better against the steel types, which is basically, I think, what it's meant to do. But I don't know. It's a niche pick. It's down there, right?
Yeah.
I rank 1 Glalie, time to shine. I mean, sure, go for it. Like, you have fun with that Glalie. Let me just text Smiley real quick and let him know that you're building a Glalie. See what he says.
Not officially Pallet Town PvP approved. So
I have a rank 13 Glalie for Green League.
You can't sue us now if it doesn't go well.
But it's not built, or it's not powered up.
I did build a Glalie for, I think it was one of those like season 1 or 2 cups.
I would never build a Glalie. Don't even give me that. Hello? Hello? What happened?
Yeah, so I had to blow my nose again.
Oh, okay. I thought I...
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think it does seem to be. I mean, I don't know. It's a smaller meta, but it does seem like there is some options out there at least. That could be a little spicier.
You've just got to be able to figure out the interplay between these picks. So, like, what do you have to do for your meta champ to beat Sableye? What do you have to do for?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, I know, but like that's going to be the key.
Oh, that
winning,
reminds
right?
me. I can tell you another story about regionals.
Yeah.
When I built a back-to-back foul plays, on my Sableye, and I went to fire out the second foul play after they shielded the first one, except my Sableye didn't survive the counter.
Oh.
And then I sludge waved a 5 HP Metacham. And then I almost lost the game because I needed to outpace the Umbreon to a charge move before they got the 2 foul plays.
Yeah.
So careful, you know, Metacham can take a Sableye every once in a while.
Right.
I think they psychicked me first, and then ice punched me, and then they were able to counter me down. I don't know, it was very strange.
They didn't get a debuff, did they?
I don't think so.
Psychic? Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch are just about the same damage for energy.
You're coming to Fort Wayne or NAIC? Probably Fort Wayne. I don't know about NAIC yet. I think that will be, if I go to Fort Wayne, I think that will be enough Pokemon journeys for me this year. I'll get to see Cat Dad, and that's about it. So,
the Australian folks are just fuming right now.
I know.
Yeah, you heard.
I know that.
Let me reset.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the Sydney Regional Championship was in like mid-May or like late May, and they moved it to the beginning of April, like April 1st. So that's 2 months earlier, and a whole bunch of people have already booked their like flights, booked time off work, and all that. And so like I'm just seeing a whole bunch of rage online right now.
Yeah, I saw Fine Panic was like pissed about that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he's coming from what, like,
Indonesia,
I don't know. I don't want to speak into. Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. So, kind of like it's not like far, but it's not close, right?
Oh, it's
definitely
still,
like a bit of a
hundreds and hundreds of dollars to fly over.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like flights and hotels and stuff. Like,
yeah.
It's not good. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they must have had a big issue with the venue. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Venue double booked or something. Oh, sorry, we meant to have like Queens of the Stone Age there that night.
Oh, are they still touring?
I don't know. Yeah. So that's news. I reckon let's find someone to raid. So I'll at some point today I will get out the 5-minute version of this. It's pretty easy to summarize, I guess. It is going to be kind of polarizing, so prepare yourself for that.
That's what I said. Like when I was doing the practice battles with my friend, I was like, "Dude, can you stop using friggin' Registeel Sableye every game?" I'm like. I got like a Mawile, I have like a Flygon, and it's like, yo, the Sableye's just running my show. And he's like, I'm like, I was getting bad. He's like, well, if you stop using shitty Pokemon, maybe you'll have a chance. I was like, well, yo, Crazy Kid, welcome in.
Hey, Crazy Kid. Yeah, I mean, you can just watch the VOD on YouTube. It'll be up there. It's there right now. We're gonna raid Brown Baller 10. Who has listed his channel as being for mature audiences.
definitely is.
What have you actually settled on a team?
Pardon?
Have you actually settled on a team for this, or?
Yeah, I might try DD, Flygon, and Walrun. Or DD Pelipper, Walrun, something like that. DD Spinda Walrun.
Yeah.
Maybe DD Walrun. DD Shadow Walrun seems like a nice core. Maybe the Pelipper could be good.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know
it's
yet.
gotta be Shadow. If you run the War Ring, it's gotta be.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I didn't do my sets at all today, but
Yeah, I'm thinking I've gotta throw in like Swampert at some point, because that's like one of the few things that could outplay the Red Steel Metachamp core. There was like 2 things that could beat them both, and Swampert was one. 3, 2, 1, and we are rated.